What's up, y'all? I'm watching JD from NY, wrestling commentator. He's talking about CM Punk coming to AEW. What's up, y'all? This video, this video is about headliners only, Netflix. Um, Not a comedy special, more of a documentary. Um, Kevin Hart, Chris Rock, headliners only on Netflix. I still got my Netflix account for some reason. I feel like it should be off, but some kind of way I still got it for an extra month. So when I heard December 12th, headliners only, Chris Rock and Kevin Hart was coming to Netflix, I was like, man, I gotta see this, even if I gotta max out my little money, to see the program. So I turned it on. What I wanted to do first was I wanted to check out Mr. Monk's last case because I had a Peacock account, like I was grandfathered in, like when it was still free. So I wanted to check out Mr. Monk's last case, and I started it yesterday, December the 11th, 2023. And when I went to check it today, they had it to where you had to be a paying customer to watch something like that. So I was like, you riding dirty mother suckers, you gonna make me pay. Whatever, nigga. I'll check out Monk's last case when I get some money, you know. But headliners only, man. Let me take this shit off. Take off my Damon Wayans Major Pain so I can do this fucking video. Um, what can I say, man? Kevin Hart to me is a B plus comedian. He's B plus. He's not by any stretch of the imagination the most talented guy to do comedy. He's not the best. He's not the greatest. He's not one of the greatest stand-ups of all time, but he is one of the hardest workers, and he does have one of the best business minds to have ever done comedy. One of the best business comedian to ever do comedy. And when he does something, as far as putting out a special or doing Netflix, it's always an amazing production. I really like that thing he did with Wesley Snipes. That special that he had, that series of episodes that he had with Wesley Snipes when he was playing a famous comedian called The Kid. Um, and Wesley Snipes was his brother, and they put that on Netflix. That was a wonderful, wonderful thing. One of the best things that Kevin Hart has ever done, better than all of his little comedy movies. Really appreciate that, and I really liked the fact that this documentary was not really about them touring together. It was really like a celebration of Chris Rock and Chris Rock's career and what Chris Rock means to stand-up comedy. I've always said it. Chris Rock is one of the best to ever do it, and he does not get the respect that he deserves as being one of the greatest of all time. He just doesn't get it. And, stuff is happening in my life, spooky, supernatural, gonna be a part of the record of human history. This man from Shreveport, Louisiana, born July 2nd, 1989, Christian Shepherd Hospital, Shirley Dean Hawkins Anderson, Edward James Anderson Sr., evil, wicked ass sister named Cheryl, older sister by 4 years, born November the 11th, 1984, I guess. Me, good aunt named Gloria Sam Anderson, grandfather Theessa Anderson, grandmother Emma Hawkins, grandmother on my mother's side, Howard Hawkins, grandfather on my father's side. Stuff is just happening, man. Stuff is just going on in the world, you know, that matters to me, that means something to me, that's significant to me, that seems like God is having a conversation with me, and I really appreciate it, because I said in one of those videos, like, I may link it somewhere in this video called New Beginnings. Like, I'm starting to believe in God, but God is going to constantly have to prove himself to me. And it seemed like the Almighty Allah took me at my word, and he's constantly proving himself to me. You know, it's spooky. You know, it's spookism to the highest degree. I'm homeless. I ain't got a penny to my name. All I'm doing is talking to 300 niggas, man. 300 niggas who sometimes view what I do. I really appreciate you checking out um, the short checkout headliners only on Netflix. That's got 100 views, so that short did really, really well. That short did amazing. So I'm gonna post a lot of shorts. I'm guessing you can go longer than 30 seconds. So I'm guessing it's got to be around 90 seconds. So I'm gonna try to push my shorts to like 90 seconds. I've never really seen anything 2 minutes. I think 2 minutes is a proper video. So I'm gonna try to make it around 90 seconds. See how long I can make, you know, a video before it becomes not a short and it turns into just a regular video. So I'm gonna play around with that. You know, but this special had a lot in it, man. DL Hughley and Cedric the Entertainer was in it. I don't know why the F Steve Harvey wasn't in it. Like, what the hell was Steve Harvey doing that he couldn't show up for this? But like, that's why people don't like Steve Harvey, and everybody thinks Steve Harvey is a dickhead because he wouldn't show up, you know, to be in this special. They could have filmed him at his morning radio show, wherever he goes to film or to do his radio show. They could have filmed him from there, and he could have been in this Kevin Hart special. It ain't as if Kevin Hart don't have the money to pay Steve Harvey, that Steve Harvey couldn't use a check. He just was contacted and turned it down. Man, I got all the respect in the world for Steve Harvey, even though he's a Christian. You know, man, goddamn. Why the hell wasn't you in this? They did a whole thing about the Kings of Comedy. They had everybody in there that was alive but you. The MC wasn't in this documentary. What the fuck is wrong with you, nigga? What the fuck was you doing that you couldn't make any kind of appearance at all in this documentary celebrating Kevin Hart? You a bitch ass nigga for that, Steve. I'm just gonna tell you. You a bitch ass nigga for not being in this Kevin Hart, Chris Rock documentary. Dave was in it. Dave Chappelle was in it. Bill Burr was in it. DL was in it. Cedric was in it. Seinfeld was in it. Why wasn't you in it? Fuck is wrong with you, Steve? You a bitch ass nigga for not being in this special celebrating Kevin Hart. Celebrating Chris Rock, one of the greatest stand-up comedians of all time. A guy that just transformed comedy. When he released Bring the Pain changed comedy forever. Changed comedy. There was not like Eddie Murphy. Eddie Murphy is always gonna have the two greatest stand-up specials of all time. There's nothing that's gonna ever beat Delirious and Raw. There's nothing that's gonna beat those specials. But Bring the Pain did for comedy what Delirious and Raw did for comedy. It just transformed what comedy is and how comedy is done and how comedy is seen, and like it elevated the art to an entirely different level, and it just took it from one plane to a whole other plane, and you can't credit anybody other than Chris Rock for doing that, man. Chris Rock is brilliant. Chris Rock is a comedy genius. He's a legend. You know, and I really appreciated that. There was a lot of Patrice. There wasn't a lot, but there was a celebration to Patrice O'Neal. If you watching my channel, if you know anything about me, you know I'm gonna cut this JD off because I don't want it to. Hopefully, they don't stop this shit. Okay. Okay. Um. If you was hearing that, that's JD from NY 208 or 206. I can't remember. JD from NY, YouTuber, wrestling commentator, very dope guy, white guy, very dope wrestling commentator. Check him out. Also, as always, check out official Jim Cornette, on YouTube.com. I don't know why my CM Punk video doesn't have any views or why my Rock of Gibraltar video doesn't have any views, but we're going to see about that on January 6, 2024, when my channel gets out of the strike zone and, I'm a brand new reborn YouTuber, not Edward Anderson, not dipped in the water like John the Baptist, but bubbled and sizzled in acid like the Joker, reborn a whole new man. But yeah, I'm chilling. I finally was able to get into the best shelter in New Orleans. I'm not going to tell you the name of it, but the best shelter in New Orleans, a shelter that you can come in and out of 24 hours a day. There's not a religious organization. There's no Jesus. You just come and go as you please. You got a bed. I ain't checked in yet, but I'm going to wait till the Chick-fil-A closes, and I'm going to go there. But things are really working out for me. It seemed like it's not going to be a 3-month wait. It's going to be a 5-month wait. So I'm probably not going to get my apartment till March. And then, but, if I stay in this shelter the whole time and I just stack my money up and don't spend nothing, if I stay in there the whole 5 months, I'm going to have like a gang of money and be able to do a gang of shit. So it may really, really work out. I got till, it's right now, it is 8:11 p.m. December 12th. I got a short walk down the street to get to this shelter, and I got till 2:30 tomorrow to claim my bed. And once I intake and do all of that shit, I got the bed pretty much indefinitely. So I'm real good to go, man. It's gonna be a really, really good new year. And I was gonna go through the trouble of getting my check, fixed and everything satisfied with that on Wednesday, but I'm gonna wait till Thursday to get my Social Security card, and then I'm gonna go to the bank on Friday and get my check back, and then we're gonna be rocking and rolling, and then we're gonna really, really be ready to get it going, and really be able to do great things in Mr. Massman Incorporated, Mr. Massman Enterprises, the Mr. Massman Company, organization, movement, revolution. We're going to do great things over here. So I turned off the JD, so let's get into it. Okay, this video talked about this documentary of Kevin Hart and Chris Rock. It dealt with a lot of shit, and it dealt with the relationship between Kevin Hart and Chris. Everybody who knows anything about comedy knows that Chris Rock credits Eddie Murphy with giving him his career. Eddie Murphy discovered Chris. Eddie Murphy put Chris in his first movie. Eddie Murphy, maybe not his first movie. I believe Beverly Hills Cop was Chris Rock's first film appearance. Definitely wasn't New Jack City, but he gives all the credit in the world to Eddie Murphy as far as being the guy who got him to be who he is as a comedian. And Eddie, I understand why Eddie wasn't in it. Steve, no excuse for you not being in it, but I understand why Eddie wasn't in it. Eddie could have been in it, but he wasn't in it. So I'm watching this special, and it's talking about, Chris Rock's father dying in his 50s. My father died when he was 67. And my father died because he was a motherfucking fool. He had type 2 diabetes. He was a smoker. He ate terribly, had a pot belly, didn't really exercise, drunk Diet Cokes by the caseloads. had to have other people give him his insulin. He wasn't even like, capable of doing that kind of shit for himself. Just my father could have lived to be. My father was built in the same way that a nigga like Farrakhan was. Like my father could have lived to be like 95, 98 years old. Like he was just a strong man that just was a fool and a lunatic and insane to a degree that you can't appreciate. But he was a good Christian man, and he did the best he could, and he really protected me, and he really fought for me, and he created the mass man. There would not be no Mass Man, Mr. Mass Man. There wouldn't be a Mr. Mass Man if it wasn't for Eddie Jane. And I call him Eddie Jane even though he was Eddie James, but that's what his family called him. So I'm going to call him that because fuck you, nigga. So Eddie Jane made Mr. Mass Man because he tried to work me, a ridiculous, stupid, insane amount. And, I formed a resistance against that, and it developed the persona, the personality, the being known as Mr. Mass Man. So, I'm watching this documentary, and it's very, very good. Top quality production. Some of the beautiful, beautiful shots. It's like Kevin Hart really knows how to put on. Kevin Hart really knows how to put on a production. Kevin Hart knows how to do great work. And this was great work. This was a great celebration to Chris Rock. I appreciated the part of it with Patrice O'Neal. And Chris talked about Patrice. Kevin talked about Patrice. And Bill Burr and Kevin sat across from each other and had a Patrice O'Neal discussion within this special. I just thought that was beautiful that in Chris Rock's celebration special, they had an ode to Patrice. That really meant something to me as somebody who considers Patrice like a second father to me. Even though I'm a man that had an actual daddy who was in the home every day of my life until the day he died for 26 years, I had an actual daddy, something that most of you niggas don't know shit about. I had a daddy, so calling another man my father is like, weird to me, but I don't feel weird when it concerns Patrice because Patrice meant so much to me and so much to so many other men. I don't feel strange calling Patrice, my father, even though I had a daddy, so seeing that in that special, it was like, man, the universe is really, really talking. The universe is really, really speaking. They did not have to do that for Patrice in that special that was about pretty much a celebration of Chris Rock. That's pretty much all this thing was. Giving Chris Rock his flowers. They did not have to get Bill Burr and Kevin Hart to give it up to Patrice in the Chris Rock celebration special. That really meant a lot to me. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, everybody that had anything to do with that. I really appreciate that. I really love y'all. And thank you. So, okay, they did the thing to Patrice, and there was a guy who seemed like he's going through a lot of famous, one of those famous kind of underground comedian. I believe his name Keith Robinson. He was a guy that was really instrumental in Kevin Hart's development. They talked about the crew from Tough Crowd, Colin Quinn, the Boston comedians that kind of shaped Kevin. They talked about the phone book incident, where Patrice threw a phone book on stage to antagonize Kevin Hart, to like motivate him to like be a better comedian and to step outside of himself and go to a higher level, elevate. Ask Naomi, it was good, man. So they talked about that. They talked about Tony Rock was in it, and he was had a little discussion about how Chris Rock was the oldest, and after his father died, he had to take on, the responsibilities of paying bills and keeping the family together. And after the father died, they lost their house, You know, Chris talked about how he was a guy that was originally from New York. He was originally from New York, and so being that he was from New York, he didn't have to go through all the trials and tribulations of somebody who moved to New York to make it in comedy. And he had an extraordinary amount of skill and talent for being a stand-up comedian. I'm kind of flustered because I think this place closed at 9 o'clock, but I got enough time. I'm gonna try to get us a nice, good review. So Chris Rock was talking about how he basically took the Brooklyn train to go to the comedy clubs and develop his craft. They talked about Joan Rivers, Joan and Roseanne Barr. Joan Rivers and Roseanne Barr, two of the greatest female comedians to ever do comedy, man. Roseanne and Joan Rivers, rest in peace, Joan. Long live Roseanne. I hate that Roseanne got blacklisted after a tame joke calling a woman who she wasn't even sure was black some kind of ape, some kind of monkey, and then they blacklisted Roseanne, and Roseanne had to kind of do the right wing circuit, the free speech right wing circuit to kind of still make money. Same thing kind of happened to Roseanne that happened to Kathy Griffin. Kathy Griffin, had a decapitated head of Donald Trump, something that Willie D would have loved to death. Like Willie D would have loved, if he didn't see that the thing that got Kathy Griffin blacklisted, Willie D, if you seeing this, look up Kathy Griffin holding the head of Donald Trump. That's what got her blacklisted, and that's what got her out of the public eye. She was one of the most famous, beautiful redhead, comedians of all time. Perky titties, beautiful face, red hair. She was just Kathy Griffin was the shit for a long, long time. That woman don't even look the same. She is after that, she aged she went into the presidency, that shit, she's just withered, and she's been through a lot, man. Pray for Kathy Griffin that she can get her career back, that she can come back, into the public eye and do something, man, because it really wasn't fair what happened to her. But okay, back to the special. It did show something about Kevin. It wasn't just about Chris. I believe Kevin talked about his mother passing of ovarian cancer when he went to do the movie Fool's Gold. And he had a good mother. And here's what I mean. His mother could have been some old DeMarcus Baylor's mother. Come take care of me, even though I only have a mental disorder and I'm basically able-bodied. Come be my nurse and take care of me. His mama had a physical ailment, cancer. She was physically dying from a sickness. Her body was sick and she was about to pass from that. She didn't have a psychological issue, a mental health issue. She had a physical issue, and she could have came and she could have said, son, come take care of me, Kevin. Come nurse me. Come wipe me. She didn't do that. She said, let him live it, let him do his thing. Let him, he's about to do a movie. This is going to change his life. Tell him let me get to where it's almost too late and just give him enough time to say goodbye. Kevin had a really good mother, man. He had a really good mother, man. My mother was decent. I love some woman that I met in Dillard's, a woman named Marjorie in Shreveport, Louisiana, St. Vincent's Mall. I love that woman more than my own mama. But my mama was cool. But my mama basically, in my opinion, committed suicide 3 months into my, stay in college. I was in college, meeting Brittany Williams, trying to do what I do, trying to find somebody to love me, and I didn't realize how much she loved me. And my daddy show up one day. I knock on my dorm room, call me, whatever. Allegedly, my aunt drove him. But maybe she did, maybe she didn't. I don't know. But some kind of way, my daddy showed up and told me my mom had died on her way to church. I'm like, how the fuck? Did she die on the way to church? I knew she was going through mental issues. I knew she was having like somewhat of a nervous breakdown and she was acting weird, but I didn't think it was that bad. But she just like, I was the force that I am. You know, when I was a kid, a young little boy, like I would literally grab the Holy Bible and read it to my parents while they were having an argument to kind of like stop them from bickering and fussing, and they would kind of like look at me. So I've always, my whole life, been some kind of a peacemaker, some kind of a regulator, some kind of a force that imposed some level of order. So when I stepped away from the house and it was just the three stooges, evil, wicked ass, nothing sister, you know, lunatic daddy, and a mama who's a nag, but cool, you know, cool but a nag, you know, it was just a recipe for disaster. Like those motherfuckers was gonna kill each other one sort of way. They were too crazy. The sane one, who eventually became bipolar, left, and it just sort of fell apart. Like mama, she didn't like it is technically she didn't kill herself, but she ran off the side of the road into a goddamn to the interstate, died of blunt force trauma. Nigga, that's suicide. It's suicide. You was on your way to church and you said F it and you ran into a building. Didn't nothing hit her. Didn't nothing, she killed herself. Cause her son was at school and I wasn't coming by enough and I wasn't calling enough and I wasn't making enough of an effort to show her that I wasn't gone forever. She thought that I had moved on and I was gone and I wasn't never coming back. She didn't know that I wanted to come back to Shreveport and be the man of Shreveport, and she could have called me at any time, seen me at any time. And my mama had said, "Son, I need you. Are you gone forever? Why are you gone for?" If she had asked me to come back, I'd have came back. I didn't love my mama when she was alive, but I did like her a lot. I liked the shit out of my mama. I would have came back for my mama. I wouldn't have left college. I would have got my degree. I'm not Godfrey. You know, I would have got my degree. You know, but I would have came back. You know, I would have made an effort to come back 3, 4 times a week to hang out with my mama. I like spending time with my mama, especially when I got grown and she knew she couldn't call me her main anymore. I like my mama, so it wouldn't have been no sweat to spend some time with her. I just wanted a real girlfriend, and she could have probably helped me with that if she would have communicated to me how much of a struggle she was having, with me being gone, from the house. Are y'all about to close? Okay. Um, so if she would have communicated the fact that she was having such a hard time in that household and she needed me to do something, I'd have did something. But you know, I saw Chris Rock's mama, and Chris Rock's mama is as cute can be. She was talking about how when Chris when Chris wanted to go, to wherever, LA or wherever with Eddie Murphy, she was like, "What if Eddie Murphy's on drugs? What if? Well, I ain't you ain't going, Chris. You ain't going." And she was like, "Yeah." Then I went to the dentist because I was sure that he wasn't gonna go. And then his father drove him down there, and he went to LA. Oh, Chris Rock's mama is cute as cute can be. Oh, she's so cute. Oh, Chris Rock got an adorable mama. His mama's adorable. Chris Rock. You got a mama like I got a mama. Mama, my mama was like an LPN, was like a nurse, and she went to work, when it was like raining with a duck umbrella. Now, my mother worked for like an Iranian man, like a man from like the Middle East or whatever. I don't know exactly where. Halim was his name, so you figure out where he's from. Dr. Halim, a clinic, a little nursing clinic where people go to get seen or whatever. Dr. Halim is a black woman, Marshall, Texas, born in Marshall, Texas, born in the 50s, going around a bunch of everybody else worked there was white. She the only black woman or one of the only 2, 3 black women. Everybody else white. She going into a nurse's office. She go in there with an umbrella in the shape of a duck. It's a duck umbrella. but it's not just a duck umbrella. Like it's like it has a bill like a duck. The bill is purple and it's yellow. It's a cartoon umbrella, and this is a professional business. It was the cutest thing my mother had ever done, and I'm like, why you got? I never even asked her about the duck umbrella. It was just so ridiculous that she would walk into work with a cartoon umbrella. I bet your mama probably would do some stuff like that. I never forgot that shit. And I wish I could have saved that umbrella. I ain't got nowhere to put it. I would have eventually lost it when my evil, wicked ass sister threw me out on the street like a piece of trash. But if I could have like kept and found the car, like I would have kept that goddamn umbrella. Because that umbrella was cute as shit, man. Then my mother would pick that umbrella and choose that umbrella to go into work with. Oh yeah. But yeah. This is a great documentary. Everybody should check it out. Everybody should get a Netflix subscription. Also, F. Faison Love. Check out the Country Wayne comedy special. I ain't a fan of Jesus, but it's a good special. It's dope. It's a very good special by Country Wayne. Faison Love, where your special at? It's a good special. Don't believe what you saw. I was falling asleep. I'm on Country Wayne. Nigga, you ain't. I'm glad he mentioned the fact that Country Wayne had a special, so I could actually go check it out for myself and realize that it was a very, very good special. It's pretty good. I'm glad Faison Love said he fell asleep watching it so that I could check it out. Falling asleep during the comedy special is probably what your ass does on stage. That's probably what and because you Faison Love, you the black man who was in Elf, they pay you to get in the bed and snore. He the black man from Elf is falling asleep on stage. Yay! But yeah, man, this special didn't have too many people in it. It had, the black woman that works for Chris, who's like his assistant or producer. I was looking at her like, dang, she cute. You got a woman that look that good working for you. You're a faithful man. But to whatever woman you working for, I want attractive women working for me and all of that shit. But like, I'm kind of those dudes that kind of want to hit every attract. Like I kind of got a Lil Wayne level of I can sleep with every girl in the world, but attractive, sexy black women. Like I don't know if I can have somebody that's sexy and attractive and black, working for me. It's like that's kind of a distraction. It's like I'm gonna want to mix business with pleasure, and it's like I just ain't got that in me, man. That's why when I do like get employees, I gotta like put safeguards and stuff in place so I don't, violate what, don't want to have any kind of sexual harassment, don't want to have any kind of thing like that. I need stuff to kind of work the way I want to work because, I want like Solomon, biblical level of women in my life. So, I see an attractive woman, I kind of want to get that. So I don't know if I can handle that, but we'll see what we can do in the future. The special ended like with Dave Chappelle coming in, and they talked about the event, the moment where Kevin Hart gave the GOAT to Chris Rock, and the GOAT had like a gold chain around his neck, and Chris Rock was like holding the GOAT. It's like, it was great photo op. It was beautiful picture. Wonderful, wonderful moment. Giving an actual GOAT to an actual GOAT, during the taping of the special. Wonderful, wonderful moment in comedy. Dave Chappelle, Kevin Hart, one of the greatest business minds to ever do comedy. Chris Rock, one of the greatest comedians to ever do comedy. Transformed the game, transformed the art form, elevated the art to a whole other level that it would never have been without Bring the Pain, without Bigger and Blacker, without Never Scared. So really appreciate that this guy put out. Really appreciate that this gave Chris Rock his flowers. Really appreciate that this is on the catalog. And I feel that there should be DVDs of this release. Like, don't just make it something that's on Netflix. Like, print up some copies and make it to where people can own it. And let's do some behind the scenes and some special features and stuff like used to be done in the old days. We got to get back to physical property. We got to get back to VHS tapes and CDs and cassette tapes and vinyl records. Like, some kind of way the vinyl record just made an explosion and just came back from almost being eradicated. Like, something in the universe said vinyl records are coming back. So whatever happened, whoever did that for vinyl records, I want to do that for the VHS tape and the DVD. The DVD is pretty safe. There's still DVDs, but big business is doing everything in its power to get rid of DVDs. Like, even the WWE, for as long as they've been releasing material, just said recently that they can't keep doing it because big business won't allow them to keep that sort of production. There just ain't in no money in physical personal copies of property, so they gotta shut down their operation of producing like tapes and CDs and shit like that. So I'm gonna try to cause a renaissance, like in the next 5, 6, 7 years. I'm gonna really make it, when I like release some stuff, I'm gonna really like make an effort to like produce like DVDs and CDs. Like that video that's on my other channel, Edward Jaye Anderson, capital J, capital R. Like that video, set it off. The picture of Lil Bootsy, let's set it off. Whatever I said, set it off on Edward J. Anderson JR's channel. That video is like, I'm gonna make a DVD of that. I'm gonna make a DVD copy and I'm gonna like do special features. I ain't gonna do it like Hot Damn I Rock did his bullshit. I'm gonna put that on there, and then I'm gonna put all kind of stuff on there, extra stuff, behind the scenes, where I am, conversations with different people. I'm gonna make it fly one day, like maybe like 3-4 years. I'm gonna make DVDs of the Set It Off video. Maybe my first, maybe my last comedy special. Like, that's my attempt at comedy, y'all. That's as good as I can do. That's the best I can do. Like, I ain't no MF comedian. I tell you every time, I can tell you, I ain't no MF comedian. I ain't no MF comedian. I ain't no MF comedian. But I am a joker. I'm a joker. I'm a joker. I'm a joker. So I'm a joker. I like to tell jokes. I like to mix it up. I like to have fun. Check this shit out. It's great. It's amazing. Gonna have a great time. Good documentary. There's not a whole lot of joke telling. There's not a whole lot of stuff in it, but it's a great behind the scenes. It's a great retrospective. It's a great conversation. That weight pusher, king of hip hop, his ass was in it. Oh, Jay-Z was in it. Jay-Z was in it. God. Oh, God. Oh, man. Oh, God, that was so bad when I saw Jay-Z pop up. I got so pissed off. I was like, sure. Oh, FJC. Thank you, soldier. Thank you, soldier. Bringing up Jay-Z in a goddamn J. Cole conversation. You out of your goddamn mind. You hate him as much as I do. FJC. Weight pushing has to. The Jay Leno of hip hop. The Jay Leno of hip hop. I should have been LL. Oh, man. All right, y'all. I want to make this video an hour, but this is really more of a review than anything else. I want to make sure I get to this show. It's a 24-hour shelter, but, let me just wait. Let me just wait till the long hand get on the 9. Shoot Jesus with a 9 times. So I hang out with y'all. So anyway, how you doing, man? Hey, excuse me. Did you go to the Rod Wave concert? Huh? How was it? It was good? I don't know anything about Rod Wave, like other than like he hip hop, right? Like rapper. Uh, what are like three of his songs? Okay. I saw a pretty girl. I had to talk to her. Holla, 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 holla. But you know, I'm gonna do what I can do. You know, as far as I'm gonna do what I can do as far as making the channel grow, making the channel like this channel is different, right? You know, to my loyal 300, it's different, right? I couldn't do this shit before I did that 911-318-393-274. Like before I made those kind of videos, like my channel's in danger, my life, I couldn't do that. My channel was broken. My channel didn't work. My channel couldn't function. I could not do that shit. I couldn't make what I know about, what I'm visible to, what I've been aware of all these years. I couldn't let y'all in on all this shit. Like, this channel is like way different, right? Loyal 300, ain't it different now? Ain't I different now? Come on, son. What are like three Wild Wave songs? Huh? Great Gatsby? Oh, like the book? Okay, Great Gatsby. Give me two more. Huh? GH4. GH4. Give me one more. HG4. Okay, can you do me a favor? How old are you? 13? Okay, don't worry about it. Have a good day. All right. Too young. But beautiful girl though. Beautiful girl, 13 years old, all by herself in New Orleans. But all right, y'all. All right, y'all. I'm about to be signing off. I'm about to be getting up out of here. Hope y'all had a good one. Let me do my sign offs. And let me get live. I said I'd get you to the 9. There was a Rod Wave concert in New Orleans, like just so happened on December 12th. Like, man, happened on December 12th. You know, I said 3 Rod Wave songs, so whatever I said in this video, I'm gonna go check it out, and maybe I'll review some Rod Wave. I heard of his name. He's popular enough that he came to New Orleans. Dave Chappelle came to New Orleans. Maybe Patrice came to New Orleans, and Dick Gregory. Like, a lot of people are coming to New Orleans, you know, when I came to fucking New Orleans. Like, I don't know what it's about my presence being here that's bringing motherfuckers to this city. Like, Dave in Louisiana, like, what for, man? You ain't never come to Shreveport. Shreveport is really, 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 really popping. You never been there when I was there. Why you here when I'm here? You know, and I think Dave Chappelle got a little bit of beef with you from the grave. Like, the fact that you only put him in your show one time. He is the reason that the Player Haters ball was hot. That is what made that shit something that was a recurring thing that you were able to get passed through the network. He did that. Him roasting you and you roasted him back, that made it hot. Patrice made it hot, and you never put Patrice back on your shit ever again. Then, to this day, you won't allow any streaming service to show the 3rd season of Chappelle's Show you bitch made. You're my art teacher. You're my art teacher. You know more than me as far as being an artist, as far as being a man who can speak his mind and stand firm. I gotta learn from you. I gotta study from you. But if Patrice really did beat the Reaper, if he really did beat the Reaper, 2025, July 2nd, Shreveport, Louisiana, Hart Coliseum, the 800-pound gorilla, your ass is grass. All right, that's all I gotta say. It's time for me to go. All right, let me do my sign-offs and my Beyond the Rap. In the words of THUGTICIAN, the one that would put the evil baby mamas in check, the ones who would try to suck a man dry, take everything from him, make him be their slave, not do anything for him, not be a good helper, not be a good friend, not be a good partner, but be a life-sucking succubus that parasites some evil, wicked nothing. You know, he would always say at the end of his videos, more later. a businessman, a hustler, a tough man from the rise and grind from Compton, California. Daniel Freeman, how to make $1 out of 15 cents. The man with chips, the man with chicken wings, the man who showed you how to hustle, who showed you how to make it, who still has books available on Amazon.com. Digital copies only, no physical copies, but you can still find his work. Look up How to Make $1 Out of 15 Cents by Daniel Freeman, one of the realest ever. RiseandGrind.com, no longer in existence, but one of the realest things ever. You know, one day if you're still alive, I hope to meet you. I hope to talk to you because you called the nigga, and I think you're a real one. He would say, "Next time, partner." And in my words, the judge. Bang bang is the sound of the gavel. Bang bang is the sound of the gun. And the beyond a rap. So in the words of THUGTICIAN, YouTube legend, YouTube veteran, first generation, back when they was doing it for the free ski, you know, he would say more later. In the words of Daniel Freeman, the creator of the Rise and Grind, he would say, "Next time, partner." And in my words, the judge of all mankind. God didn't send an alien to be the judge of man. God sent a man to be the judge of man. Bang bang is the sound of the gavel. Bang bang is the sound of the gun. And the beyond a rap on my Dolomite bullshit. Y'all have been beyond cruel. I am beyond old, and I am beyond cold. I am beyond good, and I am beyond great. I am beyond straight, and I am beyond sweet. I am beyond kind, and I am beyond fine. Some like wine. I am the beyonder, and I am beyond you. One more time for the people in the cheap seats, if you didn't hear me. Y'all have been beyond cruel. I am beyond old, and I am beyond cold. I am beyond good, and I am beyond great. I am beyond straight, and I am beyond sweet. I am beyond kind, and I am beyond fine. Some like wine. I am the beyonder, and I am beyond you. Next time, partner. Pow, pow, pow. Pow, pow, pow. Pow, pow, pow.